Hello and welcome to the His and Hers show with Jody
and Alex Bisiak.
And today we're going to talk about owning your past so it doesn't own you.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are, whether we're conscious of it or not, our past is guiding our present, which shapes our future. Mm-hmm. So. Yes,
I've definitely found myself going, oh, I can't do this because last time I tried it, it didn't work, or it didn't, we always go back to our past experiences as almost like a measure of what we can do. Sometimes. I'm not speaking for everybody, but in my experience, that has happened.
Absolutely.
Where I don't want to try something because, and this is barely even conscious. Do you know what I mean? Until I figure out what's going on, because I've been going on this excuse diet. No more excuses, not living behind excuses, which I talked about a month ago, I think, a couple weeks ago on Coffee Chat, where our excuses are really just beliefs that we keep telling ourselves over and over. Mm. So it's getting rid of those excuses, the beliefs that we're not good enough, or, I know for me, I've had people in my life when I was younger say I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't pretty enough. So that slows you down until you realize that those things don't matter.
Because they're in the past.
Exactly. And even if they didn't even matter in the past. But the cool thing is, you're not the same person you were a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, or even a year ago. Or actually, it should have went from a year. Anyways. But you know what I'm getting at. We're not the same person we were even yesterday. So you get to go, it's every day you wake up, it's a new slate. You can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. Just forget, and it's about letting that go.
Yeah.
So how do we let the past go?
Good question.
Well, a part of it is you have to make peace with it. You have to make peace that those things happened in your life. You can't pretend they didn't happen. We just talked about emotions last week where, you can't put them under the rug. Same with our past. I've done some silly, stupid things in the past, but I no longer let them control who I am today because it happened in the past. And it's about being okay with it. I've talked through a lot of my past experiences during this podcast. I very much like to be transparent and open, and I feel that if I can share my experiences, then people can learn from them. And I do that on my Coffee Chat show and with my clients. So I do a lot of talking through my past, and it's being okay with it. And you might not be okay with something that's happened, even a year, 2 or 3 years ago. You might have to work on it a little bit, and eventually it will no longer have a hold on you.
Yeah, it just becomes a memory.
Yes. But if you think of a memory and emotions come up for you, other than happy and excited, that means that somewhere in your subconscious, you're hanging on to it still.
Yeah, it's dragging you down. Like a weight. The emotional weight is...
It's not even just the emotional weight, but that is, I'm sure, there. But what I was trying to get at there is... then it's it's holding on to you in a way that those are where your decisions are coming from. Mm. So somebody told you, to be fearful of something.
Dogs.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good example.
It is.
So say you were bit by a dog as a kid, or even a parent was just really protective and it's don't get near dogs, they bite and things like that. And all of a sudden, you're an adult and you can't stand the sight of dogs, or you don't want them in your area. But you don't know why until you backpedal, what happened as a kid. I definitely know people have gotten bit by dogs as a child. In fact, our daughter got bit by a dog, so there was a part of me that was okay, I don't want this hanging on over her head for her whole life. So I was trying to, not put my own fears on her. Mm. So it's just showing her, and both kids actually, to approach a dog, if you don't know the dog, to, ask and I like to do this for myself anyways. If I don't know a dog, I like to talk to the owner first. Is it okay if I pet your dog?
Yeah.
But anyways, but I didn't want to put my own fear of, and it was actually not even a stranger's dog. We're not going to go into that story too much. But that moment could really hang on to her for years if we didn't help her through it then.
Yeah. Right then in the moment, and also like continuing through her like healing process.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've unattached myself from it. However, later down the road, I'll, when she's older, if she has anything, like I will try and help her in that situation as well for like around dogs, because something could still come up.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. Life's not perfect. Just because we tried our best in those situations. We did the best we could where we were, but that doesn't mean that, it's going to make it seamless for her to be around dogs.
Yeah.
But it's trying to unattach herself. So the same thing for yourself is letting go of the past.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a traumatic past.
Exactly.
It could just be like the kind of thing or event, thought, belief, excuse that happened in your past, and you're still carrying it around. It doesn't apply anymore. There's a cute story that I always liked for how it's silly to just keep doing the same thing because it was done before.
Yes.
Kind of deal. And it was like a mom is cooking a roast for her family, and I think the daughter says, "Mom, why do you cut the roast in half and put it in the pan before putting it in the pan?" And she's like, "I'm not sure, honey. It's just what we always do." And then then they went back a generation, and it's like, then the grandmother was like, "I'm not sure. It's just what we always did." And then they were lucky enough to go back even further generation. I'm paraphrasing the story, but then they found out that's like, I cut it in half because I couldn't cook the whole thing all at once, right? Either the pan wasn't big enough or the oven wasn't big enough. I can't remember the exact, but the idea here is that here's this family through 3 generations that were doing the same thing because of something that was in the past, as silly as the size of it.
And
right?
no one, and this is really cool, and I love this story on so many levels. First off, one had the guts and the mindfulness to ask why. That's where it all begins, is, taking the foot off the gas, off the brake, and just being. Why are we doing this? That's where it all starts with any excuse, is why do I think this? Or a belief. Why? And then taking another step and asking the questions. Why do you do this? And then keep going until you get an answer. So that's a really cool thing on a level. And then it's also so awesome because it demonstrates how a lot of us live our lives. We do so much in our daily life because somebody else did it before us. It's what we were taught. And that's where a lot of excuses come from and beliefs. It's like, the whole, I'm not smart enough.
Yeah.
I struggled in school, and I was constantly brought up to my attention that I wasn't smart enough. And it hung on for so long where I didn't feel like I was enough, and I couldn't write, and I shouldn't do this, or I couldn't do that because I wasn't smart enough. And it held me back. And until we let those excuses in our past, stop running the show, they're going to run the show. Mm-hmm. So it's like letting them go. And a big one is journaling and writing a letter to your past self, or there's just so many cool ways of letting it go.
So by owning it, we are accepting it, or by owning it, we are letting it go?
Both.
Both. Okay.
First, you have to own it.
All right.
And then I would release it.
Okay.
So I would be you have to be honest with yourself.
That's the
here's where it's like this is where it could be painful a little. It's being honest with yourself. And being like, okay, I did this. And then it's also realizing, though, that you're not that same person that did whatever it was back then. So it's not even you anymore. So it's not making the excuse that, oh, I didn't know better, so I did it anyways. And, it's not making light of the situation. However, it's pretty much in a way forgiving yourself for making that, like for doing that. You didn't know any better back then. Or maybe you did, but you did it anyways, and you can't change it. you can't go back there and, like take an eraser and erase that event or whatever it is in your past. It could be as simple as beliefs. You could all of a sudden be listening to this podcast and be like, oh my God, I've been hiding behind this excuse for decades. It's okay. Maybe you needed to hide behind that excuse for decades or a decade or 5-6 years, whatever it is, to keep yourself safe. And now you're listening to this episode and maybe it's the time to shake things up a little.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest excuses people hide behind another one is I'm too old.
Oh yeah.
I'm too old. There's like the sexist thing. Girls can't do this, boys can't do that. Just all these things. And that's what I mean by letting go of your past too. It's not just events. It's the beliefs that were created throughout your whole life experience so far. And some of them will be beliefs that you hang on to your whole life. And other ones you'll find out that eventually you outgrew your beliefs or those excuses. Mm-hmm. And it's time to release them and let them go.
I like thinking of it as owning your past, like you're owning anything in your life. Like you could be, and I'm very guilty of this because I've moved a lot and I would just keep carrying around the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Like we're talking physical stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Right? But then I was just carrying it around. I had it because I had it. And by turning around and like owning it, I'd take a look at that thing and be like, how is this serving me? Is this something that I need to hold on to anymore? Right. And I really looked at it, and then you're able to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So in the past, like by owning your past, we're kind of encouraging you to do the same kind of thing with, your past. What's that name? That Marie Kong?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like the tidying up thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're asking you to do that with your past and events and thoughts that you've formed in the past. Mm-hmm. Do that with those things the same way that Marie Kong is asking you to get rid of like physical things.
Yeah, and actually a really great, I love that. One of the things is you could take a notepad or a pen and paper or even your phone and if you have a note app, and you could actually just go about your day. And I would possibly even do it a week if you feel up to it, even maybe a month, and just see what excuses. You'll probably catch it in a week, depending on how your weeks play out. You just pay attention to what excuses come up, what beliefs you're hiding. Like you'll know when something doesn't feel right, usually. Like a belief that you're like, oh, like when you're actually being more mindful of it. It's like, this isn't something I want to follow anymore. Or you can just keep asking yourself, why am I using this as an excuse? Or why do I have this belief? And it's like, does this serve me any longer? Does this align with who I am now? And like, just jot it down. And just at the end of it, see. And then you can do the whole, like you were saying, Alex, about, is this letting it go? Like, does this bring me joy?
Yeah, now
that kind of thing.
Now can I let this go?
Yeah,
I've learned what I can from it.
But like,
does it serve me more?
The difference is with physical things, you can see them.
Yeah.
So past events, you can see them, but you might have actually, if it's running the show, you might have kind of glossed over the fact that it even happened, and that's why like owning that it happened is a first step of really releasing it. Is being truthful to yourself.
Yeah, which is why journaling about it
and making peace with it. So you could do a list of all the events that you're kind of don't like. And actually, you can make an event of all the events in your life in general if you want, but that could be very time consuming. Or like the ones that really stand out in your mind, and then be like, "Hey, am I okay that this happened in my life?" And if it isn't, then you got to go deeper.
Yeah. I think that's a good exercise that you have to do in order to own your past, because unlike a physical thing which you can look at and pick up and turn around, you can't actually do that with a memory. You have to figure out some way of focusing on it so you can turn it around in your mind and look at it from all the different angles.
And it can sometimes be as simple as figuring out what you learned from that event. Mm-hmm. So it's like owning that it happened. It's like, okay, it totally happened. Maybe it sucked. You can let all that out. we go with the episode from the week before with emotions, deal with those. It could be shame and guilt and all that fun stuff in there. And then it's really, it's as simple as taking from it, like, oh, I did this. I needed to go through that to get to here. Or, it's like taking out lessons that you've learned from your mistakes. Yes. Or mistakes, or not every past is a mistake either. Like, it's just certain things. I'm just going from my own experience, like, of things I had to let go in the past that they were, I don't like to use the word mistakes, but they were definitely things that at the time I wish I didn't do.
Right.
And then I realized, like, oh, yes, it's still not great that I did that, but then I learned, XYZ from this.
No, it's good, because all of us were the sum of our experiences. You wouldn't be who you are right now if you didn't go through all the things you went through, but all those experiences don't necessarily have to guide your every move moving forward. Exactly.
I love that. Your past, literally, you are the person you are today because of your past. But you don't let the past run your show now. Yeah. You can redirect your world and your life in the direction you want it to go.
Awesome.
So that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yes, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And very empowering.
Yes. And before we go, I actually totally forgot to start the episode with this, but today is International Women's Day. So I want to do a shout out to all the women that listen to our podcast and just... and
all the women in our life. And,
yes, yeah. And this is why this month is dedicated to help you empower yourself more. When you let go of your past, or you embrace it and you are truthful to yourself that it even happened, you shine light on it, and then you let it go, you can really step into your empowered place and really move forward into an empowered place.
Yeah, start creating the life you want.
Instead of letting the excuses and beliefs and past experiences dictate where you go, you dictate where you get to go.
I think that's something that everyone can definitely agree is where we should be going.
Yeah. So we hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Do something fun for you. It's Friday. I always love Friday fun days for myself. But today you could do even something just a little bit more special if you like.
Yeah. Something different maybe.
If you like. We hope you have a beautiful day.
Bye for now.